A defeat for Moses Itoma against Dillian Whyte will be a major setback. It won't be a disaster because the kid is only 20 years old. He has enough time to go back to the drawing board, learn from his mistakes, make the necessary adjustments, come back and still have a successful career in the heavyweight division. However, the whole perception and narrative around Moses Itoma will change because even right now, there's already people saying that he's a hype job. He's not the real deal. There's people out there saying that, yo, Dillian Whyte is going to knock him out. Do you know what I mean? There's people questioning the level of caliber of fighters that Moses Itoma has faced thus far in his career. And I tend to agree with them on the latter. Like, no disrespect to everyone that Moses Itoma has fought so far, but they're not of a high caliber. They're not high quality fighters. Do you know what I mean? No disrespect. I respect every single fighter, but that's just my opinion. So Dillian Whyte is the first real test for Moses Itoma. And if he doesn't pass that, mate, if he does not pass that, you know, big trouble for Moses Itoma, because then people are going to say, we told you so. We told you so, man. This kid is a hype job. He's not the real deal, man. As soon as he fights someone of a higher quality, he loses. You know, and sometimes, with these young fighters, a defeat early on in their career can make or break them. Like psychologically, when so many people are hyping you up, when you got people like Turki Al-Sheikh, who basically runs boxing in this moment of time, if he's talking about you facing the undisputed champion, Alexander Usyk, next, if you win this fight against Dillian Whyte, you got people like your promoter, Frank Warren, praising you, singing your praises and everything like that. Like, you lose. All of a sudden now, the whole pressure is on you. You know, all of a sudden now, you're under pressure to win the next fight, to recover, to come back stronger. And for some fighters, they can't handle that. Now, what I've seen from Moses Itoma, the way he comes across, the way he speaks, and what other people around him have said about him, it seems like a guy, a kid who's very mature. Even at the age of 20, he's very mature. He's got a strong head on his shoulders. So it looks like he is the type of character that he can recover from a setback and come back. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be like other fighters that we've seen in the past where they're young, they're being hyped up, they're being tipped to be the next best thing since sliced bread, to be the next star. They lose, and then all of a sudden it just goes downhill after that. I don't think Moses Itoma is that type of person. I think he's a stronger character. However, losing against Dillian Whyte is like, it's not an option. Do you know what I mean? It's just not an option for Moses Itoma. There's a high possibility that he does lose to Dillian Whyte because, listen, Dillian Whyte, even at 37, do you know what I mean? He possesses the experience. He's got a lot of tools that he can bring to this fight to give Moses Itoma problems. And if Dillian Whyte does win, like, it's not going to be like a major upset. I'm not going to be like utterly surprised because Dillian Whyte is a vet, man. He's been in there with the real killers. He's fought the best of the best. You know, he's only lost, 3 fights? Povetkin, Anthony Joshua, and Tyson Fury. Like, these are high caliber fighters. You know what I mean? World-class fighters to lose against. So, Dillian Whyte is beating everyone else. He's beating Parker. Look, he's beating some tough fighters in there. Derek Chisora. He's got some notable wins on his resume. So, Dillian Whyte is not someone that we can just, like, look down on or just cast him aside and say, yo, Moses Itoma is going to go out there and mop the floor with him. That's not going to happen. But for Moses Itoma, he has to win. This is his first major test. He has to win. A lot of people do compare Moses Itoma to like Anthony Joshua, like in terms of the come up. Anthony Joshua had a lot of hype behind him when he won the Olympics. He won the gold medal in London 2012, Turned professional, signed by Matchroom Eddie Hearn. He was able commercially, like in terms of the business side of boxing, Anthony Joshua absolutely is the most successful fighter in British boxing history. He's up there globally. Do you know what I mean? Because the commercial deals that Anthony Joshua was able to rack up, I'm not going to mention the names of the brands, but Anthony Joshua made a lot of money from commercial deals. And that's the same blueprint that Moses Itoma, Frank Warren, Queensbury promotion, that's the same blueprint they're basically trying to follow, the Anthony Joshua blueprint. with Moisés Itauma because there are similarities out there. I think they're both really charming guys. Moisés Itauma comes across as well-spoken, intelligent young man. He's very marketable. So commercially, there's a lot of big deals waiting for Moisés Itauma if he can be a success in the heavyweight division. However, he has to pass his first test. He can't lose against Dillian Whyte. A defeat against Dillian Whyte, the whole perception changes. Your whole aura is gone. Do you know what I mean? All of a sudden, some of those commercial brand deals that were available to you, they're no longer there. So he has to win this fight. You know, not just for the business side of boxing, his career also. Do you know? Because look, Turki Al-Sheikh wants him to fight Alexander Usyk. Frank Warren wants him to be the next world champion. Like, there's a lot riding on Moisés Itauma. There's a lot of people putting their hopes on Moisés Itauma. So a defeat, will just dent. Will just halt his progress for a while in his career, in the heavyweight division. Do you know what I mean? He's going to have to go back down and fight British caliber fighters, British level. Do you know what I mean? And that's the route that a lot of people were rooting for Moisés Itauma to take anyway. The British level, go get a British title, Commonwealth title, European title, then move on to the big boys. But they've kind of fast-tracked the kid and he's here now. So you kind of have to deal with it. You know, so for Moisés Itauma, losing against Dillian Whyte is just not an option. It never was, and it shouldn't be, and it won't be. Do you know what I mean? So he has to go out there and he has to win. He has to deliver. Anthony Joshua, by the time he lost to Andy Ruiz, he was already a star. He already beat Klitschko. Do you know what I mean? He already won the Olympics. He already won the British title. He already done all that. So by the time he lost to Andy Ruiz, he didn't really have much of a dent on his career or his commercial viability because he was already an established superstar in boxing. Moisés Itauma is not that guy yet. They're building him up to be that guy. A lot of people are tipping him to be that guy. So he has to play his part. He has to, He has to handle his side of the bargain, get a win against Dillian Whyte, then that could propel him to world level. Then you're looking at the Alexander Usyks, the Joseph Parkers of this world. But a defeat, he goes back down to British level. And Frank Warren, who's investing a lot of money, Turki Al-Sheikh, who's got higher hopes and is tipping him for big things, these guys are not going to be happy. So for Moisés Itauma, losing is not an option. He has to win. My people, let me know what you think, man. Would a defeat for Moisés Itauma be a disaster? If he loses against Dillian Whyte, is he not the real deal? Or do you still think he's got enough time, he's young enough to recover, come back, and still have a successful career in the heavyweight division? My people, let me know in the comments. Let's have this conversation. I'll really appreciate it. Once again, thank you so much for watching EMGM Sports. It's me, your boy Enzo, the realest in the game. Please don't forget to smash the like button. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe because that's the only way you're going to help us to grow. I'll be back real soon with another one. Until then, stay blessed, my people. Peace.